Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to macro in the Grow a Garden Campfire update so that the campfire will never run out, so you can get all of these rare campfire items and get the best chance of getting this 0.5% fire wisp. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do is you need to have Auto Hotkey installed on your computer. You can do this by going to autohotkey.com, which I've linked in the description, and then clicking download. And then you want to download v1.1. Then it'll download a setup file, and once that's done installing, you can just open that up, and it will install AutoHotkey onto your computer. Okay, and then once you have AutoHotkey installed on your computer, you need to download the actual macro. So you can do that by going to my GitHub page, which I've also linked in the description. If you already have the macro installed on your computer, you do not need to re-download it. It will automatically update the next time you run it. But if you do not have it, you need to go to my GitHub page and scroll down. Then you're going to click right here where it says source code zip. Click on that, and it'll download the zip file. Open that file up. Then you're going to want to right click, extract all. Then click Browse, and find wherever you want to install it. I'm going to put it on my desktop. Then just click Select Folder, and Extract. It'll extract the files, and then it will open up a folder like this. So to run the macro, you're going to want to open up this file named macro.ahk, and then the macro pops up on your screen. Okay, so now we're going to go over all of the settings in the macro and how to use it. So when you first open up the macro, you'll see these 4 buttons: Shops, Events and Crafting, Settings, and Start. Let's just start off with the Shops button. So once you click on that, it pops up with 4 more buttons: Seeds, Gears, Eggs, and Merchants. And if you click on one of these, it will show you all of the items that you can buy from that shop. So it has all of the seeds. You can use the checkboxes next to them to select individual seeds, or you can use the Select All button to select all of them, and then it'll change to Select None. So you can do that, so you don't have to individually click every single checkbox. Then click on Done, and you can do the same thing for the gears, the eggs, and all of these merchants. Okay, before we look at the Events and Crafting tab, let's just go to the Settings tab. So in here we have 4 tabs: General, Hotkeys, Positioning, and Reconnect. In General tab, it has a bunch of checkboxes. First one is Auto Align Camera. Leave this on. If you don't leave this on, then it will just mess everything up, and it will make you have a lot harder of a time to use the macro. Then up next is Auto Harvest. If you are going to be fueling the campfire, you need to be auto harvesting because it'll be using a ton of plants to put onto the campfire. So you can turn that on. It's default every 30 minutes, but if you are going to be fueling the campfire, I recommend changing it to 15 minutes instead of 30. And then right here is Auto Sell Plants. If you're using the campfire, I would not turn this on because you need all the plants you can to fuel the campfire. Then here we have Use Event Lanterns. You can turn this on if you want to. It'll just make it so it takes like 10 less seconds to get over to the campfire event. Then next we have Wait for Restocks. What this does is it's simpler to explain if you have this off first. So if you have Wait for Restocks off, then it'll just go through all of the shops that you selected, and then once it's done going through all of them, it'll just start back at the first one and go through them again. But if you have Wait for Restocks on, which I recommend, then it will actually wait until that shop restocks before going back to it again. So then it's not just buying from an empty shop. Now, navigation settings start. This is just for a few people who have a bug with their Roblox. Don't worry about this unless I specifically tell you to. Okay, and then up next we have the Hotkeys tab. We have Start Hotkey, Pause Hotkey, and Stop Hotkey. So you can change these to whatever you want. It defaults at F1, F2, and F3. Then we have the recall wrench slot and event lantern slot. You just need to specify where in your hotbar you put these two items. So I have my recall wrench in 2 and event lanterns in 3, so you can just say where you put those. Then up next in the positioning tab, now what this is for is it's for the backpack button and the favorite button, because these can sometimes vary. So what you need to do is make sure you're in windowed full screen like this, not full screen, windowed full screen. Then you're going to want to go click on the button, so let's say set backpack button, and then it says click where your backpack button is located. So then you click OK, and click on as exact of the center as you can. Say, okay, backpack button set at X296, Y54. So then the macro will use that position, because these two buttons sometimes vary where they are on people's screens, so I just wanted to add that setting in case yours isn't where mine is. Then you could do the same thing with the favorite button. So click where your favorite button is located, so you need to be already in the inventory. Then you want to just click right in the dead center of the heart here. And then favorite button set at X1078, Y666. And if these aren't set properly, it will not be able to get to your fruits and deposit them into the campfire. And then finally we have the reconnect tab. So you can turn on auto reconnect right here. It will just reconnect the game. It will reconnect you into the game if you get disconnected for some reason. Then right here it has your VIP server link, but this might not be the link you're thinking of. Let me show you how to get the link you need to put into here. So if you go onto your private server, down here we'll have the link. You can copy this. Then what you need to do is you need to take that link, you're going to paste it into your URL bar, then you're going to press enter, and it will redirect you once and then twice, and then this is the link you're going to copy, and that is going to be the link that you paste into here. And then just to make sure that works, you can click the test reconnect button. Then once you're done messing with your settings, you can click save. Now let's go over the events and crafting. So if you click on this, here we have the seed crafting and regular crafting. You can click on this, and you'll notice it's not a checkbox, it's actually a radio button. So you can only select one item, or you can select none and it won't craft anything. Then for the crafting, it has the same exact thing. You can select any of the items, or you can select none. And then we have the campfire event. So right here it has fuel campfire checkbox. You can check that, and it will default to every 15 minutes. Then right here for these crafting items, you have to select an item in the first one before it will let you select an item in the second or third. So what you have to do is you go in here as a drop down with a list of all of the items. So let's just say I want to be crafting campfire eggs. If you put only one item, it'll craft 3 of that item. If you put 2 items, it'll craft 2 of the first item and 1 of the second item. So let's say I want 2 campfire eggs and 1 paradise egg. Or if you put 3 items, it will craft 1 of each. So let's just say I want to also be crafting energy chews. But I'm just going to leave it as only crafting campfire eggs because those are all that matters to me. And then in the Busy Bees event, if you have your honey garden active, you should check this checkbox. If not, you have to have this unchecked or else it will not work. Then we have auto compress. It will automatically compress all of your pollinated plants. You can turn that on. Use pollen radars. This will just make it so the macro will use pollen radars when you're harvesting. This setting will only show up if you already have auto harvest turned on. And then you can change which hotbar slot you have your pollen radars in. Then just over here, we have the different honey shops. So we have the honey coins, honey seeds, the royal jelly shop, and the bee eggs. And then finally we have the season pass shop. You can turn this on if you're trying to get that pink fruit palm and you just aren't having luck with it being in stock, so that you won't miss it when it is in stock. Okay, that's all the settings for the actual macro. Now let's go over a few quick settings in Roblox. Now the first thing, you're going to go into your Roblox menu, go to settings, and you want to make sure your shift lock switch is off, just so it doesn't get messed up with the camera. You want your camera sensitivity to be set to 1, and UI navigation toggle has to be on. If this is not on, it will not work. Your macro will not be able to buy anything from any of the shops. And then just in the Grow a Garden settings menu, you want to make sure the Your Farm icon is turned off. This can mess up the UI navigation sometimes. And if you're lagging, you can turn on performance mode, but you don't have to. It will disable a bunch of effects. Okay, so that's all of the settings. If you're having any other issues with your macro, please just let me know. I'll be happy to help you. Just make sure you tell me exactly what's wrong or what is happening that you think shouldn't be happening. It'll help if you just send me a link to a video in the comments so I can see what's actually wrong. Okay, that's everything. I'm gonna just give you a quick demo run so you can see how the campfire event stuff works.